Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd with a review for you by the reviews. A lot of you have been asking me, Andre, please review Kubo and the Two Strings. And so I went to go see the movie. I went to see it in a nice theater, man. It was one of those Dolby theaters where they have the reclining seats and the good contrast screens where the blacks are really black on screen. Man, it was like luxury. I loved it. It was just nice to be in a really good theater because I saw a really good movie. Kubo and the Two Strings is an amazing movie, and I feel really bad for not seeing an opening weekend. It's so good. It's just so good. First off, the animation is from Laika Studios, the same people that brought you Coraline, and Box Trolls, and Paranorman, and man, they just keep up in their animation game so much. This movie is absolutely gorgeous. You need to see this movie on the big screen to really appreciate just how beautiful it really is. Then when you remember that it's not just CGI, but it's stop motion and animatronics mixed with computer generated effects, it just makes it more impressive. It makes you appreciate it even more. If you stay till the credits of the movie, they show a time lapse of one of the characters in this movie, which is a really big character, and they had to use this whole puppetry and animatronics, and there's a guy on a computer. Like, it's just amazing. And it again shows you how you can have all the computer effects in the world, and this movie uses computer effects, but having 3D models, having something that's tangible in real life just gives something a little bit more depth. It just makes it look a little bit more stronger on the big screen than when it's just computer generated effects. So they do a great job of using CGI when necessary, but also using stop motion, puppetry, and all that stuff to make it look impressive, and the mix together, beautiful. And this movie has a great sense of adventure. You're following this kid Kubo who has to go on this quest. He has to find different items. He has to fight mini bosses and a main boss in the end. It's very video game style. So you've seen that played out before. But what makes this movie good is that it executes it so well. You never get bored with this movie. It has a kind of a slow start to get you just tuned up on what is going on to understand the type of story that you're getting into. But once it gets going, it does not stop. And the only time it stops is when it tells you more about the characters or the history of the characters, or gives you some dramatic elements that really actually work. Sometimes it repeats a few things over and over again just to really nail it in. Some of it works out good because you learn throughout the course of the story that there's certain lines of dialogue that you hear early in the movie that actually has significance later on in the movie. Don't expect anything really original other than how it's executed. The story is the usual, the execution is what makes it original. And when it needs to get dark, it does get dark. There are some humorous moments, there are some funny moments, there's some comedy in this thing, there's some adventure in this thing, but when it needs to deal with darkness, evil, death, it does not water it down. Even right at the beginning, there's something that happens pretty much in like the first minute of the film that I immediately went, ah! There's a specific sound effect that you'll hear, and you'll see it happen on screen, and you go, oh my gosh, movie don't play around. What I liked about it is it kind of reminded me of around the 1980s when animation studios that weren't Disney were starting to put out animated films like The Secret of NIMH, American Tail, and before time, the Don Bluth films. You also have the Studio Ghibli films, the Miyazaki films, movies like The Brave Little Toaster, even movies like The Chipmunk Adventure and The Page Master. These were movies that were animated films that were like, we're gonna do things a little bit differently around here. We're gonna be a little bit edgier, where we need to show you drama, we need to show you sadness, we need to show you danger, we need to show you darkness. We will do it because we want to show you the true adventure that this needs to be, and this movie does that. Kubo is a really cool kid to follow throughout the course of this movie, and you see some really cool powers that he and his mom have when it comes to playing guitar, and these paper things that will fly around and turn into different characters. It's really cute. And then you'll meet some other characters along the way. You've probably seen from the trailers, there's a monkey in there, this is a guy that's like in a beetle outfit. The whole time I saw him on screen, I just kept wanting to go, big bad Beetleborgs. There's like these sidekicks to the villain, and it's some like shining stuff. We see you. You didn't do what we wanted you to do. Hello, Kubo. I was like, nah, nope. There is an old lady in this movie that's voiced by Brenda Vaccaro, and I was like, man, I really like her. She was also the voice of Bunny Bravo, Johnny Bravo's mom. George Takei is in this, and of course he says his signature, oh my. Mononoji is up in this. Even the dude that plays Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat, he does a voice. Kubo is voiced by Art Parkinson, who's one of the Stark kids from Game of Thrones. What is it about Laika Studios having Stark kids voice their main characters? And Box Trolls had a Stark kid, and now this one has a Stark kid. If you are a Stark on Game of Thrones, give your phone number to Laika Studios. You may be in a voice in an animated movie. Matthew McConaughey, we always have to joke about him with that, all right, but he does not sound like that in this movie. He created a voice for the character that he plays in this movie. There are a lot of celebrity voices in this movie. Matthew McConaughey, Charlize Theron, Rooney Mara, Ray Fiennes. They do a really good job for celebrities voicing in an animated film. There's parts of the movie, particularly dramatic moments, that they nail it. Respectable job in being voice actors. But you kind of wonder how it would play out if you got a voice actor. But it's funny, one of the best characters I think in this movie never speaks. It's a complete nitpick, man. Like, it's not going to bother you. When the adventure gets going, when the action gets going, when they get more into their characters throughout the course of the film, it's gonna play out a lot better. Kids will enjoy this, families will enjoy this, but if you are an animation fan, this is a no-brainer. You need to see this movie. It is a true adventure story that has humor, it has heart, and it has adventure, and it has danger, and it has darkness, true darkness that needs to happen when it needs to happen, and it's just well made and looks beautiful. Let me know if you're going to go see Kubo and the Two Strings, or if you did see it, what did you think of the movie? And if there's any other movies, new or old, you want me to review, always feel free to leave a suggestion. I may use it in a future video. If you are new here, please subscribe. I make new nerdy videos all week, every week. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000. Chain chomp yomp.